Welcome, everybody. It's time for the Dents Dreams, a podcast on paintless dent repair, focusing on how you can use the fruits of this wonderful trade we call PDR to achieve your wildest dreams. I'm Jon Videen, your friendly neighborhood dent reaper and host of Dents Dreams. Now, let's get started. All right. So, episode 1 of Dents Dreams. And you guys are probably wondering, who's this guy? Why is he starting a podcast? I mean, what are we here for, guys? So, I'm Jon Videen. I've been a paintless dent repair technician for 10 years, coming up on 11 here. And I do also have my own tool line, Dent Reaper, dentreaper.com. And that's where I'm at right now. And the reason I'm starting this podcast is because throughout my career, so many podcasts have helped me along the way, starting with PDR College, PDR Tool Time, the Dent Time podcast, more recently, Dent Digest with Ryan Schutt, PDR Coach with Corey Kleinfeld, so many others along the way, PDR Workshop with Christopher Ray. Just a lot of good quality content out there. And, if you can take one nugget out of a podcast and use it to further your career or learn a new skill or learn about a new tool that can help you along the way, it's a very valuable thing. So this is my attempt to pay it forward. So, typically in these episodes, I'm hoping to get some illustrious guests, different guys throughout the PDR industry leaders down to, everyday working techs, see how they're running their business and see if we can learn something to improve ours along the way, all the way down to new guys and understanding their struggles and seeing if learning more about their struggles can help us overcome some of ours. So this episode, though, is all about me because it's hard to get a guest for a podcast if you don't have one. So episode 1 here, I'm the host and the guest. So I guess I'll kind of be interviewing myself. So let's just start from the start and go over kind of my PDR career as a whole. So I started back in 2010. Actually, a couple friends of mine, a guy I went to high school with, and a couple guys I met soon after high school, started working for a local dealer group, one of the bigger dealer groups here in the Twin Cities, and they were doing pretty well for themselves. And at that time, I was actually in real estate and mortgage, and then the bubble burst. I sold some advertising for a while and was working for Yellow Pages company, Verizon Yellow Pages. And, we sold some online advertising to go along with that stuff. But the writing was on the wall with that company. They had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And, the advertising didn't work. To put it in a nutshell, I was dealing with a lot more complaints about, the promises that I had made, that the company had told me, this ad program is going to work, yada, yada. It just wasn't working out. So I intentionally got fired from there. Basically just stopped selling because I didn't believe in what I was selling. And I knew it would end in me getting fired and had no idea where I was going to go from there. But it ended up working out. So I did get fired, and it did happen to hail that year. And one of my buddies who had worked for this dealer group ended up going on his own, starting his own company. And, he flirted with the idea of me helping him sell hail cars and do some estimating on hail cars and getting more hail cars for him in the door. And I did a couple ride-along days with him, and I was at a body shop with him, actually, and we were both standing on a quick bench at the back of an SUV as he was pushing the roof. And, I said, well, why don't you just train me to push? I mean, this doesn't look that hard. And he gave me a knockdown and told me to push up a dent, and I kind of did, probably ruined it. And he resisted for a while and, tried to talk me out of it. But I held strong, and, before I knew it, I was in the garage. So I was living in an apartment building at the time, just a shithole of an apartment building, really. And it had this big garage for, everybody had one spot, and it was just one huge building. And my spot happened to be in the corner. So I was in the corner of this garage with the practice hood. And my first day, I pushed on that hood, doing X's and O's and spots and intentionally breaking paint and doing some of those kinds of exercises to better learn how to find my tip, etc. But I sat out there for 13 hours. The first day I finally got that hood. And when I woke up the next day, my pinky finger and the inside of my ring finger were numb. And I almost quit. I ended up going to the chiropractor, and he told me I just pinched my ulnar nerve, and he did an adjustment. I could feel my fingers again, and I was back at it. So from there, my training was basically at a salvage yard, just this auto dealer that all they did was sell salvage title vehicles. So there was a lot of hail vehicles, a lot of really beat up stuff. And I would just go there every day and push for free, basically. Now, all the while, because I had recently been fired, I was on unemployment. So I was able to maintain for that. It was about a 6-month stretch, just pushing every day there for free, until finally one day the boss said, "You're ready to start charging." So my first car, Infiniti G37, a dent on the body line of the rear door. Got it up pretty dang good. That thing was looking pretty sweet, and there was just a couple minor touch-ups to do. And I went in through the wiring harness with a double bend rod and just getting that last little bit out and shattered the window. So that was the first car I ever charged on. Shattered a window. And basically the glass and the dent repair were about the same price. So didn't lose money on that, I guess, but valuable experience. Anyway, fast forward from there, did some rock lots onto bigger and bigger dealer lots. It was mostly wholesale in the beginning. And, maybe about 3-4 years in, I kind of felt like I was hitting my max as far as earning potential. I just, I was constantly looking for ways to be faster, doing wholesale work. Speed is the name of the game. And just trying to figure some ways to get faster. And I was buying more and more tools to help me with that, and just couldn't find the right tool. And that's kind of how the Dent Reaper was born. I had all these different door tools, and none of them were working exactly the way I wanted. So I went about trying to have this tool made. I had it designed all in my head. Actually, had a dream about it. Hence part of the reason for the name of the tool company is actually Design Dreams LLC, and part of the reason for the name for the podcast here, Dents Dreams. But anyway, so I had that design, and I was shopping it all over the Twin Cities at different machine shops, and I couldn't get a decent one made. So we'll get to how that all got worked out here shortly. But at about the same time, I had discovered the PDR College podcast. I discovered it on episode 7. And I binged that thing. I think I listened to the first 7, 8 episodes 2-3 times because I just was so in awe with the information they were given, and really learned a lot about the PDR industry at that point. There wasn't a lot of, Facebook groups, things like that hadn't really hit any kind of maturity at that point. So, man, that PDR College, Keith and Shane, thank you. So that's another reason for the name of the Dents and Dreams podcast. They did one episode at one point, and maybe it was just a minute. And I went back and tried to find it. If you do go to pdrcollege.com, you can find all their episodes. A lot of them aren't on iTunes or Spotify anymore, but they talked about responding to your dealers or your clients, when they ask you how you doing, and that saying fine was not a good answer, and trying to find a way to stand out. And from that point, it was probably, 2014, maybe 2015. Anytime somebody asks me how I'm doing, I say, hey, me, Dents and Dreams, baby. We're just out here getting it. So, to the point where many of my wholesale accounts that I see on a regular basis will greet me as Mr. Dents and Dreams. And it's kind of fun. So, just think about how you're responding to people. Try to find a way to stand out. And if you want to steal Dents and Dreams, by all means, give it a shot. But yeah, so, and that was, right about the same time I'm developing what would become the Dent Reaper. And I was really struggling. The machine shops around here just were not cutting the mustard. They did not really understand what a PDR tool was or should be, and it was really difficult. So that takes me to another podcast, PDR Tool Time, and so that was episode 62. And I'm going to see if I can play it for you guys here. I got it all queued up. And in episode 62, they were interviewing John and Maria Kallenbach from A1 Tool. And I must have rewound this section 2 or 3 times because John said something that really piqued my interest.
What we do is build custom tools. And so we are constantly being challenged to do something that we have not quite done before. Sometimes, that is just for that individual. We always respect that if they've come up with it, it's theirs. And we don't try to replicate it and put it out there on the market. There are some things that people want you to do that for them, and we develop some type of agreement to do that or whatever. But so we're seeing a lot of new stuff just because we do the custom stuff. And I think that's helped us be innovative with our product line. Now
and they go on to talk more about how they, build relationships with guys and sell end up selling their tools, putting the tools on the market. And that idea at that point hadn't really crossed my mind to do it that way. I just wanted this tool for myself. And at that point, I really had nothing to lose. So I had already had a CAD made for this tool because I was trying to shop it to different machine shops here locally. So I sent that in to A1 and they whipped it up super quick. And I made a couple of tweaks. I think probably the third or fourth version ended up being what would eventually be called the Dent Reaper and be put on the market. And this is the actual one. You know, most Dent Reapers have a black handle. And this was the very first original Dent Reaper. And like I say, went through some different iterations because I didn't want any flex. So I actually started it at 3/8 by 30 inches and ended up at 7/16 by 29 inches. And she's a beaut. I love this tool for many, many reasons, but it's been the beginning of a different side of my career with designing and bringing different tools to market. And it's been an amazing journey. So, but the fact remains, this is still my go-to tool when I'm doing wholesale work because it is just, in my opinion, the most versatile door tool you can have. It's super efficient and works great still to this day. So yeah. So, but this was way before that tool ever hit the market. That was probably 2015, 16 when I finally got it done. And probably more like 16, maybe early 17. Either way. So how did all this come to pass? So like I said, I was working for what was a good friend of mine and kind of had maxed out my earning potential just because you can only fix so many cars in a day. And, I was earning a percentage and, the only way I could see to increase my earning potential would be to go on my own. I really struggled with that for a couple of years because, like I say, the guy who trained me was a really good friend of mine, and it was a tough spot for me to be in because leaving him would cause a lot of drama, and which eventually it did. But what had happened was I had a vacation scheduled to go to Florida. And about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before that, I was buying a truck and my brother called me and I'm sitting in the finance office for the auto dealer for my Tacoma. And my brother called me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm buying a truck." And he said, "Well, you got to hurry it up. Dad just had a stroke and they're airlifting him to the hospital now." And man, that was a crazy, crazy experience. You want to talk about just realizing that things can be taken from you in an instant. And, just seeing my dad, they had to go in and get the clot out. And, he was, when we saw him, they finally let us see him at, I don't know, it was probably 3 a.m. And he was just laying on the bed, shaking and making just sounds, indistinguishable sounds. He was trying to talk to us, but he couldn't. And that hit me really hard. And did a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching in the next weeks to come. And actually, while I was on vacation, decided that I had to go on my own immediately. And I had to bring my tool to market immediately. And the day I got back from Florida, I called my boss and said, we need to meet. And he said, I'm too busy. I can't. And I said, no, this is really important. I need to talk to you. And he said, no, I can't. I got this, and this to do. I'm just too busy. We'll schedule something later this week. And I said, no, if you can't meet, then I'll just tell you over the phone. I quit. And holy shit, that took every fiber of my being to do it. It was really hard. But yeah, after I said that, he did eventually agree to meet with me later that day. But I just did a farewell tour to all my dealers and said, I'm not working for Dent Heads anymore. I'm on my own. And I should rewind and say, while I was on vacation, I was on Upwork and Fiverr and getting logos designed and doing all of that stuff. So, I mean, by the time I said I quit, I actually had a website. I mean, it was the ugliest website you could possibly have, but the wheels were in motion. And yeah, so did a farewell tour to all my accounts and said, I'm going on my own. And my former company will take great care of you. And so on and so on. And I told them, if you know anybody else that needs a dent guy, please have them give me a call. And I did get some work out of that. Actually, one of my accounts refused. They said, we're not choosing between them or you. We're choosing any dent company we want, and we want you. So I'll see you next Tuesday. And yeah, my former employer was not very happy about that. I didn't want to be labeled as an account thief, but, he basically told me he wasn't going to stay with them regardless. So the choice was mine. And funny enough, probably 2.5 years later, through some management changes and what have you, I don't have that account anymore, and my former employer does. So the circle of life. But I digress. So that's how I ended up going out on my own and owning my own company, Great Duck Dent Repair, and ended up being a great decision, a really great decision. Love running my own company, love being my own boss, and love making 100% of the ticket. So that's how that went down. The other thing I did when I got back from Florida was I called A1 and said, you remember that tool you made for me? And they said, yeah, we still have this, whatever, on your file. And I said, I want 50 of them. And Tom at A1 was like, did you say 50, like 50? And I said, yep. And he said, what are you going to do with them all? And I said, I'm going to sell them. And he said, okay, good luck. We'll make them. So they made them, shipped them out, and I put them on the counter of my laundry room. So I had to look at them every single day. And I sold a couple to different techs I know here locally, but not a lot happened for not a lot of time. But then my buddy Q, shout out to Q Dent Repair, thanks Tony, went down to the Mega Media event at Anson PDR, and he gave one to I gave him 4 or 5 of them, 4 of them, and said just give them to all the podcast guys because I knew the guys from PDR Tool Time were going to be there, and that proved to be an excellent decision, and it worked out amazingly well because a couple weeks later, I was listening to PDR Tool Time, and this happened.
Tool now since April, and it's made by Dent Reaper, and it is a rod that resembles a Zircus tip, and it's actually made by A1. The company's Dent Reaper, and it's a door tool that you stick down. It's shaved all the way down to the bottom, and maybe about halfway.
So it looks like an A1 tool?
It looks like an A1 tool. Yeah, it's the black handled one that we got.
Oh, you mean, I'm sorry, it looks like a dent craft tool, almost like
Almost, yeah, well,
like a flat blade one, but it's shaved, right?
Yes.
It's shaved and pointed.
yeah.
I thought it was
They got to
I
just
thought it was a duck.
No, well, his dent company is called Great Duck Dent
Oh.
Repair out of
That's a
Minnesota,
tool.
and
Yes, that is a good tool.
it
Hey,
is.
put a picture of it up on the Tool Time.
I will.
page.
I'll put a link on it on our podcast here to it. The reason being is what's good about it is it gets past the braces and it's shaved. So when you're working down through a door, you need something, you stick a rod down there. Next thing you know, you're hitting up against the window really hard, or you're shoving it down to get it past the brace in the window, possibly going up against the glass because your window guard doesn't go all the way down. But this one, the way that it's shaved, it tends to slip down 90% of them that are out there. And it has that sharp tip, and it's inverted. So it's sharp on the opposite side. So it's kind of hard to describe, but it kind of looks like a Zircus tool as a door tool. What I find, it pushes great. It's super strong. It's made by A1, so it's got the A1 steel, which is rigid. And everyone that listens knows that I don't like tools that flex. This is not a tool that flexes, even though that it is shaved.
You like stiffies.
I like the
Yeah.
stiffies.
You don't like it all floppy.
No. So I had a couple technicians come by the last couple 2-3
Ah.
weeks, and they went right to it. They're like, "Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that?"
And that is a Dent Reaper.
dentreaper.com. And I'm not plugging them because I'm paid to plug them. I'm plugging them because the tool
You like it?
works.
You like the tool? It's a great tool.
Yeah. If it didn't work, I would send it right back to Dent Reaper and say, "Sorry, dude, you struck out." But
I agree. I have the tool too, and I think it's a tremendous tool. So I like it a lot.
I don't have it.
Renstrom, sorry, Renstrom didn't get one. He wasn't at the Anson open house or mega media event, so sorry about that, John. I think you have one now. But that was PDR Tool Time episode 125, and that changed everything very fast. I had to build the website out pretty much overnight and get everything up and running, functioning properly, so that you could actually just purchase it on the website. And then for a few months, I was doing shipping and receiving out of my laundry room. I had to reorder inventory, and I would push dents all day, come home, box up 2, 3, whatever, however many orders I got for the day, and then go to the post office every morning and drop off the boxes. And I did that for a while. And then something really awesome happened. Kiko called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, see your Dent Reaper. We're seeing a lot about it online. We were wondering if we could carry it on our website." So we struck a deal, and I sent them a bunch, and they started selling it on their website. And at the same time that happened, A1, John Kallenbach, asked me if he could do the same thing. And I said, absolutely. But maybe we could work out a deal where if somebody buys it on my website, I can just forward that order over to you, and you can send the tool out directly from your place. They have a whole shipping and receiving department, and I had a laundry room, so that that wasn't scalable. There's no way I could have the tool line. I have reapers, reaper rods, angels, chameleons, reaper tails, um, several lines with different sizes and iterations and tweaks. And there's no way I could do that out of my laundry room. That would not be sustainable. So that worked out really well, and continues to. And I'm infinitely grateful to A1 for all of their help, to all the guys at PDR Tool Time, Vinny, Mike, John, now Hudson, Daniel Grom, of course, all those guys, and everybody on every podcast, really, not only for promoting my tool or helping me promote my tool, but giving honest feedback, and also just everything I've learned along the way from all of these different podcasts. And again, that was my thinking when I started this podcast. I don't know, maybe a piece of my story will help or inspire somebody else to come out with a tool that will then end up helping a bunch of other guys, or they'll learn things along the way that will help them further their business in whatever way that is most helpful to them. So that is that. So I guess that also takes me to what is my dream. I never thought I would be where I'm at today. When I first got started in PDR, I didn't even know that where I'm at was an option. I've achieved a lot of goals that I didn't really think were possible, and so now, I guess through associating, I've been part of different mastermind groups, and I had the opportunity to rub elbows with a lot of really smart guys in this industry, and learn a lot of really good things. And I guess I've learned that you cannot achieve a goal or a dream if you don't set it. So I'm setting mine pretty high and pretty wild, but that's the way to do it. So why not? What do they say? Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. So that's what we're doing. So my dream, my end game, my hope and dream at the end of my career here, which hopefully is sooner rather than later. I don't know. I don't know if I'll actually ever full-time stop pushing. I mean, it's the best job in the world. It's like therapy. Being able to fix somebody's baby, and just you get the positive reactions you get from people, and it's all a really good feeling. But the dream is to have a home on the Gulf of Mexico and a home on a lake here in Minnesota. So we'll be we'll snowbirding it, as they say, but summer's up in Minnesota and winter's down in Florida or Texas or Georgia or wherever it makes the most sense to to have that place on the Gulf, but we're still quite a ways away from that. But with any luck, as long as I have that out here, I know that there's going to be steps I need to take to get there along the way, and this shop is a stepping stone to that, and potentially a full-on retail location, maybe a stepping stone to that. So we're just going to try to learn how to best achieve those goals along the way. But I think that is it for episode 1. I don't know what all I missed. So, I was going to go through a couple of these quotes here. So, I had some quotes on some achieving your dreams deal here. So one is, do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. And that has been so true for me. Again, with the help of PDR College and PDR Tool Time and Dent Digest and all the other podcasts, and all the people, the mega media events and all those things along the way. So another one I love from E.B. White. I get up every morning determined to both change the world and have one hell of a good time. Sometimes this makes planning my day difficult. And I think a lot of Dent guys can relate to that. And I guess we'll wrap it up with John F. Kennedy here. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. So guys, just decide to try. Let's shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars. And I hope you decide to try. We're coming to the end of 2020. Let's make 2021 the best year for everybody's life, and hopefully we can all grow and achieve our dreams together. So thanks so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.